Hey Gemini, this is Perrymoretarot's daily reading for October 27th, 2022. This is for Gemini, last shuffle coming up for Gemini here. Gemini, we have the Sacred Temple and we have letting go. So I think that you understand, and if you don't understand, this is Spirit telling you that part of your plan, part of your destined path is to let go of certain things or people or places or thoughts or habits that you've been quite loyal to. These may be things that you've been doing since the beginning, or, you know, dealing with these people since the beginning of whatever it is, right? I've known them since elementary school. I've known this person since graduate school. I've been doing this or living in this place since blah, 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 blah. They're talking about it's time to let those things go, because a lot of it, you may find that there's limits or caps when dealing with these certain people or places or things or thoughts. Certain things may be limiting you, or people, like I said. And so that although you're loyal to them and it's something you're used to, it's important to let it go. Although you're a very mutable sign, there are some things I'm sure that we're all loyal to. You know, we're all to some degree very loyal to something. And so this is an energy of needing to see it differently. Seeing that this is, it's more of a liability than it is just the fact that, well, yeah, I mean, come on, these are my friends, or come on, this is my something, or whatever. Or I've been, you know, everybody went to this school. Like, you know, like, you know, this is how my granddaddy did it, and my daddy did it, and this is how I'm gonna do it, type of thing. And they're talking about it's time for you to see it differently, that the times are different. It's not like it was before, and it's time for you to make some changes. So we have Knight of Swords and we have Five of Pentacles. You're meant to speak out against this lack mentality or something, and make, oh gosh, you're meant to not only, you're not only meant to speak out against it, but you're meant to be curious about it. Because if this is a destined path, I'm almost getting this energy of this is almost like a family thing or something that was passed down. That's what Spirit kept saying. Like, although it's funny, sometimes I saw it in a movie one time, or I don't know if it was Larry the Cable Guy that said it, and it was hilarious. The accent and all of like, this is how my daddy did it, and this is how I'm gonna do it, and all that. It's haha funny, but it's not, because a lot of us actually do carry that inside of us. I mean, I have had to break things myself. A lot of us are generational curse breakers. And this to me looks like a person who is finally, you're finally saying, even if I have to stand alone, I'm going to have to move on from this, because this is, I can't adhere to a poverty state of mind or poverty type energy that's not meant for me, not meant for my path. You're meant, all of us are truly meant for greatness. What greatness means varies greatly between people. Like greatness for Bill Gates is whatever he is, right? Although we all can see some kinks in his armor, but we all are destined for a different level of greatness. However, it's still greatness. And so there's something here where you're supposed to be very vigilant about this energy, and you're supposed to speak out against it, and you're supposed to overcome it. So there's something about that here, right? And I know this is deep as I don't know what for a day, but this may be something that comes up. This looks like communication, or someone watching you going, and your family, you may be that one person in your family that is actually breaking that bond with poverty. Poverty does not always mean financial. Poverty it can mean that there's a long-standing energy within family units or within friends, where you guys have low self-esteem, where you don't think that things are going to work out for you. There's always someone that's without, someone that's always like, I don't have enough of this. If I need a cup of sugar, will you give it? And although it's a great song and a great lyric and a great thought process, it's like you still don't want to be in that position like consistently. And so this is about someone maybe communicating and you communicating this back. Like, I am no longer just going to wait and sit back and watch how how things go. I'm going to capitalize on whatever opportunity comes my way. You know, letting go of, also too, this is some sort of you know how like we think that if you're dressed well, then you must be well. Like, if you look good, then you're good. So this is that letting go of that energy as well. That's part of the poverty. Is a lot of times we think that if our hair is right, if our clothes are right, if we smell good, makeup, You have the right car, you're in the right neighborhood, your kids look a certain way. I mean, I've seen people actually dog other people out where the kids had sort messed up shoes and they had clean shoes. And I'm like, have you ever seen kids destroy a pair of shoes? So how are we judging people by the outer appearance? And I think it's even in the Quran, there was something about that. And don't quote me because I am not well versed on the Quran, but this stuck with me about the description of evil and how evil approaches people by looking good and smelling good. So you would look at two men, one man's dressed in a suit, he's smelling good, his hair's cut, he's got a nice beard, he's smooth talking, he's able to buy whatever he wants, and then you got this scraggly man that's sitting on the corner, he's probably drunk, but his spirit, he is an angel, he's an earth angel, and you got a demon dressed in everything that you thought was the best. So there's some energy here of letting go of this thought process or this feeling that if your outer appearance is just stellar, then this is a good person here. A lot of those people that you meet that have got all that stuff going on, they are the worst, emptiest people you've ever met. I cannot tell you how many people I've met that they don't dress like they don't. I'm telling you, I've met some amazing people. I've met alcoholics that were better people than people I went to church with. And so I'm saying this is that part of that poverty that spirit is trying to get you to get away from. Being well dressed does not mean being a good spirit. It doesn't mean that you're nourished spiritually. So we have dark thoughts of Nine of Wands and Ace of Pentacles. This may be dark thoughts about what you put your energy into, about, goodness gracious, dark thoughts about what you're fighting for, what you're trying to achieve in life. You may have dark thoughts about the fact that maybe you have to do this alone. Like you're going to have to stand alone if you stand up against some things. This may be part of the poverty state of mind that you're in a grouping with where people are like, you're going to go out with that outfit on. And you're like, so what? Like, I'm still a good person. What does that mean? What does that matter? And so this may be coming up for you. Okay, and you may have to stand alone in it, and you're having dark thoughts about it, like, should I embark on this new way of thinking, or should I allow myself to be cajoled into doing what I've been doing? A commitment here, Four of Swords and Queen of Pentacles. You have to make a commitment to ignore, almost to a certain degree here. Let's see, this is definitely six. Ignore a certain kind of thought process or attitude or way of living that you've been doing. This is like part of this legacy, maybe a legacy that's been passed down. Maybe grandparents told you this. I know my grandmother told me a lot of stuff like, you never go out with the dirty this or that. And I'm like, if sometimes the situation calls for it, then that's what, I mean, that situation calls for it, but sometimes it's something you can't help. And it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't serve you, care for you, talk to you, speak to you with respect as a human being at all. It shouldn't have any bearing on that. But this is something that looks like you're committing to ignoring certain things like that. It may be from some sort of matriarch or something that taught you that as long as you're fully pressed and ready to impress and stepping outside, then everything is all good for you. This is I was just having a talk to someone that was like, I really, really don't understand why someone would dress a certain way. If something was like that, and I was like, you know what, you're fully dressed with you're never fully dressed without a smile. That's the point. It's a good spirit and coming in with good energy. And so this is something where you're having dark thoughts about, you know what, I'm tired of holding myself up to this kind of ideal. I want to live like just be a human being. And so Gemini, I'm not sure who this is for, but it's giving me such a deep vibe of a person who's deciding that you can't measure someone's soul by their appearance. And so, and that's part of the poverty that you're trying to cut away, break away from. You may have observed this energy, seeing that, some people, it's like they have the worst mouths or they think the worst, they say the worst stuff, and they look the best. And you're just like, you know what? That doesn't mean anything. Why am I even trying to look a certain way or be a certain way when that has no bearing on who I am as a person or who that person is or who that person is? Very lovely, right? So the signs you could be dealing with here, you have a potential of any sign, to be quite honest with you. Pisces stands out the most. All right, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.